Hello, I'm BX Toycat and welcome back to the video. Today I have some good news regarding the PC version of Minecraft because there is a brand new update available for the game today. It's called Minecraft 1.11 and it just came out literally yesterday, and that means you can go and explore all of the new features in this update, a lot of which were already known because the snapshots have been out for quite some time. But yeah, now the official update is out, I figured, okay, Minecraft 1.11 is out, why not show you 11 features in this update that you should be excited about. So that's what I'm doing in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. If you do like the video, like it and let me know because it helps out the channel and lets know you do like these update videos. I've been doing them both the PC and the Pocket Edition recently, where we go through some of the features, the major ones, just kind of go through in like 10 minutes or less exactly why this update is so exciting. Hopefully you'll enjoy it though. Let's get straight into it. So let's start with the coolest one in my opinion. I'd say the biggest one, but I think the Woodland Mansion's a lot bigger than everything else, but it's the coolest one in my opinion because it's llamas. That's right, they officially added llamas in this update for the game, which is hilarious to me because if you don't know, for the longest time it has been like an in-joke in this channel that we just suggest llamas over and over again, and here they are in the actual game itself now. So there's 3 types of llamas in case you're curious. You get the kind of white ones, you get the kind of, I guess you call this a beige, right? And then you get the brown ones if we can find one of those around. There are 3 types of llamas you can find in terms of like the variances for them. There we go, a brown one right there. And then once you've got the 3 types of llamas on top of that, once you decide to tame them, which is tamed pretty much the same way as a horse, so you ride it over and over again, and then eventually the llama decides he loves you, and then you have a spiritual bond that lasts forever. And once the llama has decided he loves you, like I've just done with one over there, or not with that one over there, but yeah, let's just show you that right now then. So as you can see, we're going to give the llama a lot of favor with us, and then we're going to ride him, and he's going to decide, yeah, we love you forever. And as soon as the llama's done that, then you have the ability to saddle him up. So there's no traditional saddle for llamas in the way, in a move I really quite like, is instead of giving them a saddle, the saddle slot you can use any type of carpet with. So depending on the type of carpet, again, there's 16 types of these, you get 16 different, like, entirely different types of llamas. So if you, for instance, put a grey carpet on there, you're going to get a llama which looks like this, and he's got like a villain mask on. I absolutely love it, and yeah, basically there is llamas in this update. They are rideable, they are tameable, and they're even breedable now. They weren't breedable till very recently in the snapshots, but yeah, if you use hay bales on them, they will breed together, and you can have baby llamas. So isn't that all you want in life? Baby llamas and llamas? Not just me. But yeah, if that's not, then maybe the second feature here is one that's more exciting because it is the Woodland Mansion. I would say that's the biggest feature in this update, again, especially in terms of size, but in terms of the scale of it, it's a really big deal because the idea for this came around because Jeb decided, you know, the structure block we had in 1.10, again, you might not know about that, there was a structure block in there which is only for commands only. He was thinking, what if there was a structure that used, each structure blocks to kind of generate themselves? So he made this giant one right here, which as you can see, it's like over 100 blocks both directions. I'd say it's like several hundred blocks deep. But yeah, basically it's a very, very giant structure that only generates in roof forests and only very, very rarely. Like the first world I started, the closest Woodland Mansion was 70,000 blocks from spawn. So yeah, sometimes you're not going to find these for a while, and therefore the other versions are going to have to think that through. But for now, this is a Woodland Mansion. It's made from dark oak and cobblestone, and you find these around the place, and they spawn with a bunch of new mobs as well as just randomly generated rooms. So you'll find stuff like wheat, you'll find stuff like pumpkins, and you can find a bunch of stuff, including like, statues of chickens. There's lots of stuff that can be found in the Woodland Mansion, and that's the second feature in Minecraft 1.11. The third feature is the thing I mentioned where I was like, oh, one was 70,000 blocks away. How did I know that? Well, I knew that because there's a brand new locate function in this update. So this only applies if you use cheats on your world, or they're commands, but you need cheat, they're called cheats as far as the game's concerned, because you need to do /locate, and then you do anything from like /locate, I don't know, let's say we want to locate a mansion, then suddenly we'll know there's a mansion right over there. It lets us know our nearest mansion, but if we want to know the nearest temple, for instance, so /locate temple, I think we probably have to do temple with capital T, because the game gets really weird about that, but you can do the nearest temple. So, unfortunately, a lot of, things are combined together, so the nearest temple could be a jungle, a desert, or a ocean monument, or the nearest, villager, village, could be any of the 3, but still, there's a locate function, and if you want to just find a thing because you're in creative and you need one, or because you're in survival and you play with cheats, which I know, I guess some people do, then that's something you can entirely do with the brand new locate feature. But speaking of new features that are for the, command menu, there's another one, which is /game rule. This is like a whole one. I believe it's like do weather cycle, and then you can actually decide whether weather should cycle or not. This is actually a feature which came from the console version of the game. That's right, it's a console exclusive, which came to the PC, which I like it when it happens that way every now and then, because yeah, for the longest time on the PC, you couldn't turn off weather, you could only turn it off when it happened. Now, however, if you set do weather cycle to false, but it's false right now, so let's say that's true, then what you can actually do is you can set whether the weather should cycle or not. And if you hate rain like me, this is so important because so many videos have been ruined by like, oh, it rains midway through, can't do anything about that, because it just makes makes Minecraft look bad in my opinion. So yeah, what you can actually do is you can use do weather cycle and just turn that off altogether. Or if you want to turn it on because you've got it off for some reason, again, the same thing works right there. Do weather cycle and then either true or false. So yeah, that's a handy little thing that again came from the console, and I'm surprised it took this long to get to the PC, but now it has. So with that said, the 5th feature in this update is another brand new mob, which is found inside the Woodland Mansion. So yeah, there's actually 3 new mobs for this structure, so we'll go through them one by one, because there's actually 4 mobs in this update. There's llamas, there's vindicators, there's vexes, and there's evokers. So I guess the easiest one to go through is the vindicator. It's one of the 2 brand new types of illagers, because both evokers and vindicators are what are called illagers by the game, because yeah, you'll see what I mean by that, because okay, there's a skeleton attacking, but you'll see what I mean by that if we get over to here. So yeah, basically this is a, as you can see, that's a Vindicator. He attacks you with an iron axe, which, as you all know, is a very, very powerful weapon. And yeah, basically he's the melee kind of combat of the 2. He's not actually too dangerous, and he's only found in these Woodland Mansions across all 3 floors. But he's generally weak. He will drop either an iron axe or emeralds, or both in some situations. And yeah, the cool thing about him is that there's an illager around here. He keeps the place safe. But honestly, they're not too dangerous in my opinion. I mean, I didn't have too much difficulty there. Also, get away, skeleton. But yeah, the thing that I think is way more difficult to fight, and I quite desperately need some food, is the second one here, which is going to be the the evoker. So before we fight the evoker, I'm actually gonna have to show you another feature because I'll die if I don't. It's called the Totem of Undying, and it's what you get for killing an evoker. So yeah, the 6th feature here, I guess it'd be, is the Totem of Undying. So yeah, the reason the Totem of Undying is so cool is because when you have it equipped either in your offhand slot or your main slot, it can't be in your inventory. It has to be, you know, on you in some way. You cannot die, or if you do die, you're brought back to health, kind of in the same way the fairy bottle works from the Legend of Zelda series, which is so cool if you ask me. Like, oh, guess what? The fairy bottle's in the game now, and although they are really hard to get because evokers are only found in these very rare structures, only generate once, you know, with the place itself. Once they're gone, and they only drop 1 of these each. But yeah, if you now die, so I died to a skeleton, but let's die to an evoker, I guess. Yeah, this is the evoker that you have to kill to get the Totem of Undying. So he casts a lot of spells, mostly range attacks, really. So there we go, as you can see, spawning in these little vexes here. And yeah, basically he's a very, very challenging mob to kill. I got really close to him, so it's just like, okay, there you can see. That's what the Totem of Undying looks like, by the way. Because even though I wrecked him, he also wrecked me. So I'm going to put another one of these on, just in case I die again. And yeah, as you can see, very, very handy item to have in Minecraft. So, the mob that he just spawned, so that's the Evoker, it's basically a mob that can spawn Vexes, but also has a few other ranged attacks, I think. Okay, there we go. There's our second Totem of Undying activated. So let's actually just jump down here and get out of there. But yeah, okay. Oh, and that's actual death right there. So, yeah, with that said, that is, Oh, I lost all my stuff too. So let's move into creator. Okay, well, by the way, this is in case you're curious. So this video has gotten derailed very, very quickly by my deciding to fall down right there and my lack of hunger. But yeah, basically, as you can see, this is in a this is in a amplified world with the Woodland Mansion. Because one of the cool things about the Woodland Mansion, so let's go into creator for a little bit. So game mode C. One of the cool things about the Woodland Mansion is the fact that if you look at it, yeah, it's a giant structure anyway. But if you get it on a hill just like this, or if it's amplified like this, you get this insanely giant structure that really kind of speaks to the the size of this thing. So yeah, like I said, evokers only spawn on the top 2 floors of this building, and the second floor is kind of big, but the top floor is always the smallest, either being a half floor. In this case, it's like a tiny little corner. There's only 2 rooms in my case, as you can see. There's like this dining room over here. Well, I guess you'd call that a dining room, right? But there's like this semi-dining room thing over here, by the way, again with an evoker, and then we've got this room over here, which is just, I guess, like a bedroom. Again, these are kind of meant to simulate like houses, but they have a bunch of other cool rooms, like farming room. This is the house you should dream to build in the far game. But yeah, for now, let's move on to the the 4th new mob, because I've gone through the other 3, and that is the Vex. So the Vex is, only spawned through the evoker, so whether you want to call it its whole own mob or not is its whole own thing. But yeah, for now, this is the Vex. It's its own little feature, and as you can see, they can float through walls, they have their own swords, and they're really kind of terrifying. So they don't do too much damage to you. I mean, if I'd let them fight me, but again, I really don't like fighting these guys because they're so tiny. As you can see, it's kind of tricky to fight. But yeah, basically their idea is just they're another thing to make the evoker more annoying, because yeah, the evoker is a ranged attack mob, and it's described as a mini boss, not a full boss, but still, it's something very challenging to fight if you want to get those totems, which if you're Toycat and die, what is that, 4 times in a video, then maybe you wanted those. So that's the Totem of Undying right there. Let's keep one of those on us from now on, shall we, and move on to the next feature, which again, my number system's gone a little bit lost, but the next feature right here is actually going to be it's the block update block. I forget its actually, the detector block. And the cool thing about the detector block is it's a block edition feature which came to the PC. I love that PC is doing more and more of this, so it's like, yeah, let's just take features if they work over there, because yeah, this is the detector block. So the detector block is obviously possible to get in the game. It kind of functions as a like a bud switch, which is using redstone a lot. If you don't know what that is, basically it detects what happens on one side and applies a redstone current for a split second when it does. So here's the easiest example. We've got a door right here, and behind it hooks up to a redstone current. So when we open or close this door, it makes the redstone trigger for a very brief second. So this isn't just limited to door openings or anything like that. Any form of updates to blocks. So if a furnace changes, if literally if anything happens to the block, then it's going to okay. So we got another one of these, by the way. It's going to change what happens there. So let's pick a random block. So we place direct there, and or is that direct? Yeah, granite. Sorry, and then we unplace it. As you can see, for the very split second, it's causing something because it is a block update. So any block update that happens in the block this is facing, with its very kind of sad, mean face, then that will change the door just like that. So yeah, with that said, let's move. Okay, again. So here's the door example. Exactly the same thing. Redstone current applies for a very brief second, and it's used for a lot of really complex redstone stuff. If you don't know what to use it for, give it a try. I think it's kind of fun, but it is mostly meant for more advanced stuff. So with that said, let's move on to what I believe is the final feature here, because it is to do with, I guess, an addition to the enchantment system, because there are two brand new enchantments, but they're not really enchantments, they're more curses. So yeah, basically there are two brand new things. One of them is the Curse of Vanishing, and one of them is the Curse of Binding. For some reason in my game, if you look, it's got like a Russian name. No idea why some of my names are in Russian, but still, we got the Curse of Binding and the Curse of Vanishing, and you might be able to guess what both these things do, but just in case you can't, if you put the Curse of Binding on something, so let's show you with I guess one of these. If you put the Curse of Binding on a, I guess you need anvil, not a crafting table. But yeah, if you put the Curse of Binding on let's say a chest plate, then you're going to make it so when you put that on you, it's going to stay on you forever. So yeah, once I equip this chest plate, it cannot be unequipped. So there's an exception in that, obviously in creative you can do that. But if I'm in survival, which I can do right now, in fact, so go to game mode 0, then you're going to be able to see that I can't take this off. It's got the Curse of Binding. Like, it's stuck on there forever. So if you want to, stick something to you, basically, these are curses you can do to make an item bad, but they can happen naturally, and you can find these in, desert temples and stuff, and put them on there yourself, if that's what you really want. The second thing you can do, as you're going to see right here, is the Curse of Vanishing. So the Curse of Vanishing, if you put it on a pair of leggings, or you put it on anything else, basically it means that when you die, the item doesn't just go flying out like you just saw right there. The item will actually just vanish upon your death. So yeah, basically there are two enchantments, both are to do with death. One, you can only unbind the armor by dying, and one makes it so if you die, the armor goes away forever, which is kind of interesting if you ask me. So yeah, that's two new curses, and that is the 11th brand new feature in Minecraft 1.11. I'm really terrified I missed one because the whole dying messing me up. But, oh no, I did miss one, which is the Shulker Box actually. So the Shulker Box, that was the 10th one. The Shulker Box is perhaps the most interesting one in terms of Minecraft, I guess the nerdy side of stat things, because basically the cool thing that makes a Shulker Box so unique is it's like an ender chest you can carry around with you, and you can carry around ender chests, but these things store an inventory local to the box. So let's just pick a green and blue one right here. Again, these are crafted, in case you're curious, from Shulker shells, which you get from killing Shulkers, and so let's show you those right there. So this is a Shulker shell. There's a 50% chance of every Shulker you kill dropping one of these, and they're combining two of those with a chest. So I'll show you how to craft it, just in case you've never seen this before, because yeah, you put two Shulker shells around a chest, and so just like that, and suddenly you get yourself a Shulker Box. So the default color is purple, but you can dye any color you want by putting dye in there, so you can have blue or green, etc., and therefore you get a very colorful little chest thing. And the way these chests work is they store their items in the chest even when you break it. So if I place down the blue Shulker Box, so now we go back to survival. If I place down my Shulker Box with, you can't put Shulker in there, by the way, but if I put that stuff in there, then when I break the box, it's going to stay in there as I do so. So if I had a pickaxe, this would be a lot faster, but it's still fine if you break the box with your fist, because yeah, as you're going to see, once the box is broken, which again takes a little bit of time if you don't have pickaxe, you're going to see how it's like a separate item to this, because it has the sword in there, the totem, etc. The only exceptions on this is you can't place chests, and you can't place Shulker Boxes inside Shulker Boxes. But still, this means that you can essentially carry 30 to 27 times as much, because every one of your item slots can be 27 items. So if you want to store, for instance, what would that be, like 1,000 stacks of cobblestone, guess what, you can do that. If you want to store this or that, by just storing it inside boxes in your inventory, you can store a whole bunch more, and that is a really interesting item for a bunch of reasons, especially to do with like redstone and stuff. So yeah, but a key point here is that Shulker Boxes are in this update, and they're the 11th feature in Minecraft 1.11. I hope you did all enjoy this video. If you did all like it, like the video, let me know, because it helps out the channel, and lets know you do like that. Again, the update update videos, letting you know exactly what's inside one. I know this kind of went a little low place towards the end. I wasn't really expecting to die, but still, I think it's pretty cool regardless. By the way, if you look, the llama also says, like, if I show you right there, it says, like, Russian llama. No idea why llamas are Russian or why everything else is, but that's just the game apparently today. And yeah, basically, the 11 new features. Let me know what your favorite one is in the comment down below, because mine personally is the llamas, but I'd still love to hear of yours. And subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I will probably be streaming this later on today, so go check out my channel a little bit, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.